This is the Bay and TP Perspective. I'm Brian Bay.
And I'm Greg Teepee. Welcome to our podcast.
And today's episode is on favorite players from our rivalry teams.
Tough one. It's
yeah.
not necessarily our favorite players, which would be easy because...
Yeah, and I wouldn't, maybe
teams.
favorite's the wrong word, but maybe the players that we didn't hate the most.
Or respect.
Respect. Or,
yeah, I think it's a broad range because, it's hard to think of players that are my favorite from a rival team, but there are players that I don't mind that, maybe back in the day I hate it, or I especially hate them when they played
in the
against
moment
us.
I hated them, but now I respect them more. The asterisks are is that, for example, we'll talk about football, so it can't be like an ex-Bengal, and it can't be like a Flyer. They have to be in there 3 years, at least 3 seasons.
So I guess we should preface with the fact that we both have the same teams that we root for. So like Brian already mentioned, football is the Bengals. I guess I'll just say it now.
Yeah, just roll through
NBA, Lakers, and then MLB is the Reds and the Yankees.
Yep, and those would be the ones we're rolling through. It's all pro sports today. We might dabble in college sports one day, but I think that'd take a little more research. So,
yeah. I was wondering about that, but...
I thought about it, crossed my mind, but I was like, this one will probably be enough to just roll it pro, and we can do maybe college down the road if we feel like it.
What about your favorite MLS team?
Haven't gotten there yet, dude. I like FC, though. FC Cincinnati. I don't know.
I can't name anyone.
Couldn't tell you.
So where do you want to start with? Are we going to start with the NFL, or?
Yeah, I have NFL's first on my list.
That works.
So, I did the division. I did Pittsburgh, Steelers, Baltimore Ravens, and the Cleveland Browns.
Okay. You want to start with the one we hate the most, or do you want to lead up to them? Or just whatever. I mean, whatever.
Matter to me, man. How do you want to do it?
I don't know. Let's start with Baltimore.
Start with Baltimore?
Yeah, let's just start with Baltimore.
Okay. You want me to go first?
Sure.
All right. So, I came down. I have 2 players written down, which is illegal too, but one's more of a honorable mention.
Oh, by the way, I do have multiples for other teams.
Okay, good. So, I'm going to lead with my honorable mention, which is primetime, Deion Sanders.
Oh, his brief stint, number 37.
He was there 04, 05.
Yeah.
Good
one.
Even if he was there for the 3 seasons required, I wouldn't have picked him just because that is my favorite player of all time.
Yeah.
And I feel like that'd just be unfair because he's at least played for a few teams.
Yeah.
And it just so happens that he played for Baltimore.
He's not known as a Raven.
Yeah, he's not known as a Raven, so I'm not going to, that's what we were trying to get rid of by having some stipulations where I'm like, I'll just pick Deion Sanders because, no matter what team he plays for, I like him.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to do that. But that is an honorable mention because that's actually my favorite Raven if there was no rules involved.
And that's a good one because I forgot he played for him. I mean, that was at the end of his career. And he still, I remember him picking Carson off.
I was watching highlights about him today, oddly enough.
Oh,
not even in research to this. I just happened to be rolling through some YouTube videos that had NFL highlights for different, and then I got on Deion Sanders. It just, you go down a rabbit hole.
Prime time.
So, yep. But, so then my actual one that I went with is Ray Lewis.
Same.
He played from 96 to 02.
Yep.
And, regardless of his, arrest or whatever that was.
Yeah.
Based on just solely on a player, man, he seemed like a leader.
Yeah.
He was exciting to watch.
Talented.
Yeah, just big energy. Big talent, seemed like he had a lot of respect around the league. So
yeah, he mentored a lot of the young players towards the end of his career.
Yeah,
and that added to it for me. I was one that didn't care for him early on.
Yeah,
and
I ragged on him with the arrest and stuff. I'll admit.
Yeah, I have too. But then it's like you kind of mature as you grow, and then talent is talent, and he had the talent, and that's why he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Which leads me to, I'll just say my honorable mention real quick because Ray Lewis is also my favorite Raven, or most respect or whatever. Ed Reed is my other one.
Yes, he was someone I looked at.
Yeah.
He was someone I looked at for sure.
Ball hawk.
Yeah, he was a ball hawk. I liked him. I love secondary players. Obviously, like I said, Prime's but I've always been big secondary. You I know a big receiver.
Yeah.
But I've always, for some reason, been safety, cornerback. I don't know why. I've just always liked those type of players. And but yeah, Ed Reed was definitely up there.
Yeah.
A lot goes away too, a long way for Ray is that he played with one team. And you'll see that kind of throughout some of this, a couple of them, where I'm like, they get my bonus points because they stuck with the team.
Correct me if I'm wrong, didn't Ed Reed also play his whole career in Baltimore? Did he have a last year or two?
He might have had a last year or two somewhere odd, but I don't remember.
I feel like he did, but like the Jets or the Saints, something like
Yeah.
that. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I have to look it up. But
Yeah, I didn't
he's a
look that
Raven to
up.
me.
But yeah, he's a Raven. So, but that's all I really have to touch on them. I mean,
Yeah, that's
you want
all.
to go to what you want to do? Well, I guess we'll end with Pitt.
All right,
we'll
so
do
we're having
Cleveland
the
next.
Cleveland Browns.
Yep. Do you have anyone in mind, or you want me to lead on that again?
Well, I will say who's on my mind, but I don't know if it falls into your rules.
Okay.
But for me, one that I obviously never seen play is Jim Brown.
Okay. Yeah.
But I don't know if we're going back to pre-us.
There was no
didn't think so.
rule on it. There was no rule on it. I just personally didn't.
Okay, so
You know.
with
Yeah.
So with Jim Brown out of it, and in my lifetime Browns,
Super hard, isn't it?
it is. I'm trying to think now because like I can only think of modern Browns. The Browns were so bad for so long; it wasn't even really a threat. So
No.
I was like, eh.
I got a couple honorable mentions myself, and
Yeah, you can go ahead and mention them while I try to
and
think.
my actual
Then,
face.
'cause-
So my first quick honorable mention, I didn't even write anything down on him. It's just Testaverde.
no, Vinny.
I just remember him growing up. That
Yep.
was literally it. And I didn't hate the Browns then because I don't really hate them now as much
I don't
as I
either.
probably should for being a Bengals fan.
Yeah,
But I mean, they were just on TV a lot, and I remember Testaverde.
yeah.
And
I had
they
a
were-
lot of his cards.
Yeah, and they were in Ohio too, so that was like one of them. And then my other honorable mention, and it's illegal for two reasons. One, he did not play there long enough, nor did he, and he was an ex-Bengal, Baby Hawk, Andrew Hawkins.
I should have known.
That was my favorite band. He played for the Browns from 2014 to 2016, and Bengals from 2011 to 2013.
Right.
He was my favorite Bengal in that era
Yeah.
from 11 to 13. I just liked his style and kind of the underdog. And I liked Artrell Hawkins, which was his older brother that played for the Bengals. So kind of just it went, and that was my guy. And then actually, fun story. He had a Twitter contest that I won a signed card from him.
Yeah.
So that made me, and I don't really win things often, so I was like, that's pretty cool. So that helped me stick with him as my favorite,
Yeah.
during that era. And then when he went to the Browns, I was upset, but I read an article on it. I have a little information on that. So I read an old school article from that era in the, because he seems like he hypes up, and I don't want to say that because he seems like he hypes up the Browns. He talks about the Browns part of his career a lot more than the Bengals.
Right.
It seems like there was like a
Beef
disdain
almost
or
or
a
something.
beef or something I didn't realize. And I don't know if there was a true beef, but I get like why he would have a chip on his shoulder. So after reading the article, the Browns offered him a 4-year, $13.6 million contract, which apparently the Bengals were able to match. Because I guess he was a restricted free agent, so they were able to match that.
I feel like I remember that now.
They declined to.
Okay.
Now, in the Bengals' defense on that one, we had A.J. Green, Sanu, and Marvin Jones.
Yeah.
And then even at tight end, the article mentioned Gresham and Eifert.
Yeah, we are pretty much
So we're
set.
stacked, yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
So I'm more so now looking back at it and reading back on it, why, like, I guess I'm less upset that we didn't just sign him. But in
Right.
the moment, I was like, sign my guy. What the heck are you doing? Like,
Yo, I remember that.
why are you
I
not
remember
doing
you were
that?
heated.
Like, he's a beast, blah, blah, blah. I was
But
like,
it makes sense because of the names you just mentioned. Where was he really going to fit in except for maybe some third downs?
yeah. So.
Which we've done that with other players.
Or 4
but-
wide receiver sets where he's in the slot or something,
Right.
like. So I get it. I don't even know who was playing slot at that time. Was it Marvin Jones? Or were they just doing the 2 tight end set?
I think they're doing 2 tight end set
Probably
with
2
Gresham
yeah,
and
Gresham,
Eifert.
yeah, because Gresham was more of a blocker.
Because I was trying to
with
Sanu
some
was not
receptions, but Eifert was
slot
more.
either.
No. So, okay, that makes sense. But that was just my preference. I happened to notice that article and brought it up.
Right.
So that's my honorable mention. Do you have any?
I mean, one that I can. It is hard for me to think of a Cleveland Brown, but
Mm-hmm.
one that I think of actually plays now that I really just respect his game is Myles Garrett.
Oh, that's a good one. I did not think about him at all.
Yeah, I think he's been there more than 3 years now. I think he just played
I
his
think
third
so.
season actually. I just respect how he changes that Browns defense.
Yeah, he's
even when he
all-
was
yeah.
suspended last year, the Browns plummeted. They could have made the playoffs last year if I remember. Or,
If he would've-
sorry, not the past season we just had, but the year before that.
Yeah.
I think the Browns were kind of on the cusp.
Yeah.
But when he got suspended, I think they lost the rest of their games.
I believe you're correct.
And I just respect him on the field and what he brings to the offensive line. He wreaks havoc on the quarterbacks.
Another high energy, very similar to, like, not to compare him to Ray Lewis, but that kind of
Similar, yeah.
yeah, that kind of energy and leadership kind of model. So
Yeah, so I think I'll have to go with Myles Garrett for my Brown. I mean, like I said, the history isn't very good. I'm sure I'm missing something.
you're gonna miss. I think you're missing one that I'm gonna say. The guy I picked is gonna be the one
I
that
forgot.
you're.
Yeah,
I haven't picked my guy yet.
Yeah, who
So
you got?
Joe Thomas.
I
Offensive-
couldn't think of his name.
yeah, 2007 to 17, man.
I swear I was thinking of him. I just couldn't think of his name.
Yeah, great lineman, and I respect the fact that he was there for 10 years. I mean, you're with the Browns.
He was with the 0 and
through
16
shit,
Browns,
yeah.
the
Just
1 and 15.
Never complained, never tried to
Wow.
get out, just kept signing his contract, playing his game,
Right.
keeping his head down.
Yeah, no, that man.
Deserved
I
to,
couldn't think of his name.
deserved to be on a winner.
That's my honorable mention.
Yep.
I'll put him there because,
So-
because you never heard him causing up a ruckus in the media. Like, man, he could have, and people respected it.
And he
because,
retired a little earlier than people thought he would.
Yeah, he didn't want to get beat up anymore.
No, and naturally, they became good like
I
the year or
know.
two after, you know?
Yeah, I feel bad for him with that, but that's a pro right there.
Yeah, but yeah, that's yeah. So that's why, yeah, that's my respect, longevity.
I'm
one.
glad you
So
said
that's-
that because I couldn't think of his name.
Yeah, so I'd have to say that'd be my favorite Brown of all time.
That's a good one.
So now moving on to the
So we're going into the abyss.
the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah.
Boo.
Can't stand them, but there's a couple players on there that I guess I can respect.
Yeah.
And I have two. And technically they both meet the criteria.
Okay.
So, sorry, I think there's a buzz.
Yeah.
I think it's yours.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry for the technical difficulties.
Don't know where that came from.
Yeah. But so you want me to go first?
Sure.
Or do you have
So
okay.
I think we are going to be on the same page again.
Possibly. So my first one is Rod Woodson.
Okay.
He played from 87 to 96.
Right.
Now, I'll preface that the reason I picked a second one is because 87 to about 92, 93, I had no idea who the hell he was. I'm sure. I was young.
Yeah.
You know, I remember him playing for the Steelers, but it's probably like 95 and 96.
Yeah.
And that was probably what I remember him playing for the Steelers. And after that, he played for other teams. So it's almost the reverse of I'm probably more liked him after he was a Steeler.
Yeah.
And he just happened to be a Steeler at one time. So it's kind of like that same thing we were trying to avoid. With
Yeah.
like, I liked him before they became a Steeler. This is almost like I probably liked him more
After he was a Steeler.
After he was a Steeler. And not saying I wouldn't have when he was, but I just,
Right.
that's one of them I picked. Now, do you want to go next? Because I have a second, but if you want to.
An honorable mention that's going to be really random, but I remember as a kid, I tried to mimic him a lot playing backyard football, was Cordell Stewart.
Oh, I did not think of him.
Because he was like one of the earlier running quarterbacks that I remember.
No,
that I remember.
Yeah, no, that changes the game. I might have to say you're correct on that. Because my next, that's probably, I didn't think about him. Good call.
Number 10, I believe.
And what's
too.
funny is
Yeah.
I just watched a YouTube video the other day
Yeah.
about that.
And he just kind of disappeared.
And I just didn't think about, he just came and gone.
Yeah.
I remember him tearing us up a lot.
Oh,
and I didn't
yeah.
like that. But as of some of the quarterbacks they've had over the years, I didn't really hate him.
Right.
And I liked him in college for Colorado.
Right.
So there's that. And then, so my next one, you want me to tell me what my second one is?
Yeah.
Ryan Clark.
Yep.
That's 06 to 13. Now, I'll admit, I respected him when he played, and he was one I didn't hate, but I think I just respect him so much as an analyst now.
Oh, yeah. Hands
I
down.
think
He's one of my
super-
favorite analysts.
Yeah, he's very smart, and, just...
I still love his Aaron Rodgers story he tells when the Steelers played the Packers in the Super Bowl 45.
Yeah.
He's like, that man, I hate that man because he gave me this look and he was torching me and he's giving me this like shit-eating grin.
Yeah, like the smirk kind of thing, yep.
It cracks me up every time I hear the story.
He's like, I can't stand it.
Yeah.
He was tearing me up. Yep, I remember that story.
Yeah, that's a good one,
know.
but especially, part of it too, because I think he's a great analyst though.
And I respect he's very unbiased with,
Oh, yeah.
he keeps his Steelers hat off a lot when talking about them.
Oh, yeah.
Which doesn't happen a lot with any team. That's not even ripping just the Steelers.
No, that's like Brian said, any team.
any
For the
ex
most
player
part.
tend to be.
Boomer Esiason's the opposite.
He hates us, dude. Don't know why, but he hates us.
There's probably something, but I'm gonna go with, and it's more of a respect because trust me, he pissed me off many times. Was the hair Troy Polamalu?
Man, he's so good.
Yep,
But I couldn't put him just because I was like, I hate that guy.
Yep, This one's definitely more of a respect. He didn't. It's weird.
But if he were like, okay, so put him on the Ravens, then he probably would have been. He would have been very. Him and Ray Lewis would have been 1A, 1B.
And I don't. And
I just hate the Steelers more than I hate the Ravens. So
same.
that's
Obviously,
all
you know that.
Yes, I just hate the Steelers more.
But
So.
the reason why I don't hate him as much, I hated what he did to us, but he didn't seem like
He wouldn't really do
he
shit
didn't have
about
character
it.
issues like
No.
some of the guys I don't like. And I shouldn't say character issues. I'm not trying to be like
He was just so
"Ooh,"
frustrating
but-
when you're rooting against him.
right. Because I remember him flying over on blitzes
Yeah.
and stripping the ball or intercepting
Yeah,
it.
and the Steelers for me are the team that I don't only root against them when they're playing us. I root against them when they're playing anybody ever.
So do I.
No matter.
They're
you
my
know,
least
they're my
favorite.
least favorite. Yeah, so it's like no matter what, I'm rooting for them to lose. So every time he did anything great, I hated it, and he always did great things.
Yeah, it's like
He always did,
it's
you
kind
know,
of like if say the Ravens were your second most hated team, you would root for the Ravens every time against the Steelers.
Really, my second favorite is probably the Pats. So yeah,
That's a better example.
So I would root for the
I did too.
I rooted for the Pats over them.
Right.
So but
But yeah, that's my Steeler is at least one that came to mind.
No, Cordell was a good one. I didn't think it was funny because like I said, I watched a YouTube video the other day and thought I should have probably thought about that, but I didn't.
That's old school. That's from that weird era though, where
Yeah.
the Bengals were very bad. The Steelers weren't even really technically that good.
Yeah.
They had that appearance in Super Bowl 30 back then.
And I didn't do like in-depth research. I kind of was thinking about players.
Yeah.
And then I just Googled some rosters. I Googled like 90 Steelers and 2000 Steelers, kind of
Right.
like.
Basically, our sports watching.
Yeah, I was
era.
sliding through names. I'm like, oh, yeah. That's what, like, definitely, yeah. Like, Brian Clark didn't pop up until I read it. I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
That's one that, so
until you said them.
I did a little research on it, but not like a ton where I'm like breaking down their whole rosters and really going in depth.
Yeah.
And like I said, I guess we didn't have a rule set on like did it have to be in our lifetime or not. So
No.
I just didn't really. I just kind of naturally went to that because I don't really hate any of the Steelers before I was alive because
Right. That's going to change one of my answers for when we get to a different sport. But
you still honorably mention them.
I'm going to.
Yeah.
But I'm the lazy one this time. I'm going off the dome.
Yeah, just winging it.
I was thinking about it though all day. I'm like, okay. Some of them I got ideas, and others I think it's fun to talking with you about it.
Yeah.
When you say certain players, I'm like, I totally forgot about so and so, or with Joe Thomas, I couldn't think of his name. I can picture like there's no lineman.
And that's the only reason I started Googling because I was like, what the heck's that guy's name? Because I thought about Joe Thomas. I'm like, oh yeah, Joe Thomas. That's what I was thinking of. And like
right.
But the Browns were a hard one. It was just mainly because they don't have a lot of great players that stand out.
No,
or a lot of
not
players
in
that
our
really
era.
stuck with them a lot. Yeah. Like in the 80s they did.
Yeah.
But that's still the beginning of my lifetime. So I don't.
Yeah, I wasn't fully invested.
Like
at
when
all.
I mentioned Testaverde, it's because I remember him as a kid.
Yeah.
But I didn't really remember him. And who's it? Kozar, I think, too.
Yeah.
Like, I think
He was in the
Testaverde
80s.
was after Kozar, wasn't it? It was Kozar
Yeah,
and Testaverde.
yeah,
So I remember Kozar vaguely.
Kozar had
And then
the heartbreak
Testaverde-
against the Broncos.
Yeah, Testaverde would be a little more of a like, okay, I know him. But
Yeah.
like,
He played for a while too, though, because Testaverde also played for the Jets.
yeah.
I think the Buccaneers. I
Yeah.
think he played with the 49ers. He started turning into a what do they call the ones that travel around the league? I can't think of the term. It's like Fitzpatrick. They
Like
started
a
this-
journeyman kind of thing?
journeyman. Yeah, they started just going around the league.
Yeah.
Testaverde turned into that.
Yeah.
Not as much as Fitzpatrick, but
No, but like after, he had some longevity. He had a couple, and
I
then
always
he-
got his card for some reason. I used to collect football cards, and I always had all these Testaverde cards.
It's funny you say when we get to another sport, there's one of them that is an honorable mention because I had their card.
Oh, influence. Okay.
Yeah, I was influenced. But that's pretty much our NFL ones there. And so we just stuck to the rivals of our main team there.
Right.
I guess we could have expanded it to our secondary teams. And I was thinking about that, but I was like, so my secondary team's the Cowboys, but I was like, I would say I'm not a true Cowboys fan because I don't hate teams that I'm supposed to hate as a Cowboys fan.
Giants, Eagles,
Yeah.
Washington football team.
Yeah, I don't really hate any of them. If any, I hate probably the Eagles the most out of them.
It seems
But
to
I
be
don't-
the consensus with Cowboys fans that I know around here.
Yeah, but
They
I
hate
don't.
the Eagles the most.
I know I don't truly hate them like true Cowboys fans.
Right.
So
That's how I feel. I mean, the Packers were my secondary team. I don't
yeah.
hate the
But you
Bears,
rooted-
Vikings, or
I
Lions.
know you rooted for the Vikings.
Yeah.
So.
I hate to admit it, but it's almost me and you've talked about it, obviously off record because we just started this. But I hate to say it, like most people you talk to our age, growing up in the '90s, with the Bengals being so bad, I still rooted for them. I still suffered that decade with them.
Yeah, that was still
but
my team.
I had to root for a team that
You had to. I mean, if you want
was
to watch the
exciting to
playoffs,
watch.
what are you going to do in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Not watch the playoffs?
and the Cowboys were always on. I remember as a kid when I fell in love
Yeah.
with the NFL, Cowboys and 49ers were the big ones.
Yeah.
I
And
got
like
into the Packers because of Brett Favre.
Yeah, and like I said in another episode that I don't know if it's going to be posted before or after this episode. Now that I say that, but
That's all right.
but my Cowboys is I did live in Irving for a little bit,
Right.
so I had like some ties to it,
Right.
and so it was before like the '90s championships. I had a Cowboys jacket, and when you're a kid, you're impressionable, so just having the jacket was like
Oh, yeah.
super cool. You
It's
know?
crazy that we're old enough now to realize, because we fought most of our lives, like, I'm not bandwagon. Or,
No. I
But
mean,
now you realize
in my
you're
defense-
impressionable as a
My
kid.
defenses were like that. I don't even know where I got it from, but I had a Illinois Fighting Illini sweatshirt. It was one of my favorite sweatshirts because it was one of them that was like super soft on
Oh,
the inside.
man, I'm already
You know what I'm talking
picturing
about? Like,
it,
the
yes.
90s, and it was super soft. Don't know what brand.
Nice
but,
fall day.
Oh yeah, and it
When
was
we
like
had
a dark
fall.
blue. Yeah, it was a dark blue, and to this day, I still kind of like them. I mean, I'm a Ohio
Because of
State
that.
fan, but it's a Big Ten. Luckily, they're not like a huge rival because they're not usually good in football too much, But
Right.
like, I always kind of keep an eye on them. Like there's something about them that I'm like, I kind of root for them when I can.
Right.
You
This is
know?
a random.
And it's just because I was impressed with the age and happened to have that hand me down, thrift shop sweatshirt that my mom got somewhere. I don't know.
Right. No, it makes sense, though.
Yep. So all right. So that's our NFL. The next one. I mean, I'm just going with the flow of how I wrote things
Go
for
for it.
sports. So next one would be NBA.
Okay, you're in my head anyways. When I think of pro sports, I always do NFL, NBA, MLB. Mm-hmm. And it used to be a ranking thing, not to go off subject for a second, but like NFL for my whole life's been my favorite league. But I also love NBA and MLB, even though MLB's trying to screw things up, but that's a whole different podcast.
Yeah, that's a whole nother.
So we're
wormhole.
going with NBA, huh? So
Correct.
just to refresh everyone, we're both Lakers fans.
Correct.
So obviously the main enemy we the Celtics,
Yes, and then we added on Utah and San Antonio.
which ironically Brian and I just both hate it. Even before I met Brian, I realized we both hated Utah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, which I guess you want to start with Utah since I said them.
May as well.
Because, like, I'll just get, like, Utah, obviously, growing up, when we watched with Karl Malone, John Stockton,
Hornacek.
Hornacek, I can't think of his name. Yeah, those guys. And with the Jazz, I wanted to go with, now that I'm older, Karl Malone. I mean, he was part of the dream team. So was Stockton, but
Yeah.
and Stockton, you could probably say is an honorable mention. I mean, he represented the not in shape little dude. If you think back on it,
And you think I would, I respect the hell out of him. I hated John Stockton.
yeah, I did too. I
Hated
did
him.
too.
And I should have, because back then I was a little dude. Now
Yeah.
I'm heavier set, but back then I was actually a little dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I've always been short, but a little guy where I'm like, hey, I should have loved him.
And not like flexing
Could
muscles
not-
or
no,
anything.
Couldn't
Like,
stand that guy. I
Me
respect
neither.
the hell out of him. Like him more now, but I
Right.
couldn't pick him for that reason. I also picked Karl Malone.
Yeah.
I do have an honorable mention I'll mention later. But since we're starting with Karl, he played from 85 to 03.
yeah,
My asterisk to that, though, is he did play for the Lakers.
yep. He came
So
to the
it
Lakers.
kind of breaks the rules, but I'm going to let us slide on that because the way when I think the memory, I think about that. And plus, I wanted a good year for Lakers anyway. So it's not
Yeah,
like he
we
came
lost
in.
in the championship.
Yeah, we tried to buy a chip that year, and
Yeah,
it
because we
failed
brought
horribly.
Gary Payton over too.
Yeah, we Gary Payton, Karl Malone, and
and
just,
kind of what you're saying. I don't picture Karl Malone as a Laker, anyways. I know he played for them, but I picture him as when I picture Karl Malone, Utah Jazz,
yeah,
and then he was again, like I said, part of the Dream Team.
yeah. So it technically breaks the rule, but
but
I'm good with that one.
Yeah.
But since it did, I did have an honorable mention, and it's kind of cheating as well
okay.
because I've not grown to hate him yet.
So is it a current?
Current player,
Yeah, I'm wondering because I was thinking of
wanna
a
guess?
current one too. I can't. Is it Donovan or something?
Donovan
like that?
Mitchell.
Thank
correct.
you. That's who I do like him, but I don't
He's,
hate the Jazz
2017 to now.
Yep.
And I don't hate the Jazz currently. I may when they get a little better.
Yeah.
They're
Like
good.
this year, they're
like this year, like
they're the
saying
best
that-
team in the
yeah.
league.
If they give us fits in the playoffs or something like that, that's all right.
Yeah.
I might not like Donovan Mitchell so much,
Yeah.
but like currently, yeah, I was like, I've always kind of liked him, his style.
Yeah,
of
I
play
say
and everything, so.
current players definitely. I mean, I still have to get the Karl Malone, but Donovan Mitchell, I do like him in the whole league even.
Yeah, no, it's just overall.
But the funny story about the Jazz, remember we randomly John Dunn was a fan of the Jazz.
Man, was it
and-
Karolinko?
Yeah,
Is that-
AK-47.
Yeah, he loved Karolinko,
Random.
man.
The only person I know that loved that guy that
Yeah,
doesn't live in
and that was
Russia.
his guy. Like Karolinko went to another team.
Yeah, he
after
followed
that,
him.
and he was like, "Karolinko's still my guy." I forget what's the East Coast team. I don't remember who it was. He went to. Was
Like
it the
Milwaukee or something.
Milwaukee or the Nets or
someone that
something?
wasn't really good.
And it wasn't the Brooklyn Nets. It would have been like the New Jersey, I think, back then. Or
Yeah, I
something,
think
you
it's
know?
still New Jersey.
It was someone like that. Though. It was like an East Midwest or East team. But yeah, he was
Yeah.
like, "That's still my guy."
Yeah.
I'm like, good for you, man. Like,
The only non-Russian that loved that guy.
yeah, old John Dunn, man. He's a different cat, man. I
Yeah.
like him though.
Yeah, but that's
that-
when we would face the Jazz a lot in the playoffs.
Yeah,
We as the
and he'll always
Lakers.
give us hell, man. Like, my boy Karolinko's gonna knock y'all out.
But we knocked them out in the first round, I believe, maybe the second.
Yeah.
All the years I can think of with the John Dunn era.
Yep.
We're like, hey, John, are you
Yeah,
okay?
and that's when we communicated with him on the regular.
Yeah.
So that's cool stuff. Who next? You just San Antonio, I guess. we're
Yeah,
into
I
it?
want to save Boston for last.
Okay, so for me, San Antonio, I got a couple players on this one too.
Okay.
Now I'll lead with my actual one,
Okay.
David Robinson,
Yep.
89 to 03. With that said, the reason I did an honorable mention is because I did not hate the Spurs then. I actually kind of liked them then. My aunt was a big Spurs fan. She loved David Robinson.
Right.
I remember on my toy box, which was also a chalkboard, kind of like the doors
I
slid
remember
in their
those.
chalkboard.
Yep.
Yeah, I had one of those.
I think we all
And,
did it at our age.
I was a big sticker kid.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I got a lot of stickers, probably because they were cheap and my mom could buy them for me.
Yeah.
And I thought they were cool.
Well, we lived in a simpler time, too.
Yeah. So, like, I had stickers all over the front, and I had a Spurs one my aunt got me. So I always
Okay.
kind of, like, semi-followed them. Never hated them, but I was always like, why the Spurs? Like, you know?
They weren't much to hate, though.
No,
You
they
know
weren't
what I
much
mean?
to do anything because they were, like, average at best then.
Yeah.
They had one of the best players, Robinson, and
Yep,
a very
the Admiral.
respectable player. You know, my aunt was big, and she's into the players you can respect, you know?
Yeah.
She's not.
Character
Yeah, she's
and-
she's a character person. She's not into the arrogant like
Yeah,
Deion
like we
Sanders
kinda
type.
are.
Yeah, yeah. She's not into trash talkers. She's into the ones that do it the right way. Quote
So is
unquote.
David Robinson, I'm sorry, I know you said it, but was he your honorable mention? Or
No,
your-
he is my favorite.
Okay, that's
He's
why
my
I thought
favorite.
that-
I
okay.
don't think it counts because he was there forever.
Yeah.
he just didn't happen to be in the era where I hated the Spurs.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't think that has to be a thing. You know,
Yeah.
but I did pick one from the era where I hated the Spurs just in case
Yeah.
we want it to be legal.
I
about
do
that.
have one of each.
go
I mean,
ahead.
David Robinson was mine, so I'm not going to keep going because we kind of talked about him.
Okay, what's your
'Cause
other?
David Robinson was my guy. Mine's Tim Duncan.
And that's another one.
He drove me nuts
Yeah.
during most of his career, but I mean, he's a quiet dude.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything wrong. Even when he got ejected from laughing or talking trash on the bench. Remember that?
Yeah.
When, old dude.
I was actually on his side for that one. I'm
Same
like,
here. He
what
just
did he do?
ejected him. He's looking around like,
like,
what
what'd
did
I
I do?
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird. I hate to even admit this, but I've grown to almost respect the Spurs in general. I mean, to be able to be that solid of a team for that long, I do like Popovich.
Yeah,
I
I like
think he's a great coach.
to me, there's only like 2 or 3 players I actually hate it on the teams.
I think I
Tony
know
Parker,
one. Yeah, I was gonna say Tony Parker.
Ginobili,
Yeah,
which I respect both of them, but
yeah.
I hated Tony Parker the most of any Spur.
Same here.
And
Same here.
Ginobili probably at the time would have been my second one.
Ginobili drove me nuts because he always got lucky, and he kind of brought in the
Yeah.
Euro step. And I'm always like, dude, travel, and he just gets so lucky.
Yeah.
I respect Ginobili more than Parker personally.
Yeah.
Parker I still don't care for him. I respect him, but I don't care
He
for
just
him.
kinda seemed
Ginobili,
douchey.
I'm more
Yeah, he just seemed
better.
douchey, man. That was it. He seemed
Yeah.
douchey.
where Duncan's not.
I mean,
to
how
me.
he cheated on Eva Longoria. Come on, bro.
I know. I was going to bring it up.
She was so hot. She is
Yeah.
still hot. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, cheat on Eva Longoria. You're nuts, dude. Get out of here. Go
Yeah.
back to France, you weirdo. Jesus. Cheat on her, dude. Come on. But, and then my other one was, it's going to be a random that you would not, I don't think would think of.
Is it Robert Horry?
No, but actually that's the second. That's another
No.
one. No, he almost made the honorable mention. The reason I just didn't because he was a Laker for so long,
And that's how we know
so
him.
I just left him. Yeah, I left him off.
But I
of
just
there.
stopped him because of how you
Correct. Actually, now that we're talking about it, I have another honorable mention, but I want to mention this one first.
are. Go for it.
Well, I'll mention that one first, actually. Oh, I just lost his name. Son of a bitch. Rodman.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason I like him, that I just thought of it, I have his Spurs. I have a Spurs Rodman
Yeah.
card, randomly. I have a Spurs and I think a Pistons Rodman card.
I do have a Pistons for sure.
Random as fuck. But neither here nor there.
I want to look through my cards again, but that's neither here or there either.
Yeah, I just want to throw him out there because he literally popped in my brain as we were speaking.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
But Avery Johnson.
Oh, that's a good one. He ended up becoming coach with the Mavericks.
I say and for me, he's 1B for my all-time favorite.
Yeah.
Robinson, Avery Johnson, Tim Duncan in order. But, him and, for me personally,
yeah.
I just loved, little guy. He was a little guy that I did like.
Yeah.
The Stockton almost, but I liked him and I liked his leadership.
Yeah.
And I always had a hard time not rooting for him. He played randomly, I looked it up, 91, and then, but to begin 92, I guess he was apparently on Houston.
Okay.
And all my information for these years are off of Wikipedia, just to preface that and throw that out there.
Before you get hate mail?
Yeah, before I get hate mail. You're wrong. I'm like, what was Wikipedia said? And I know it's not always accurate, but for the most part, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
And then Spurs 92, 93. So he must have started with Houston somehow. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then 94 to 01, it said.
Okay.
So I don't know why it didn't just say 92 to 01. So maybe there was something that happened between 93 and 94 I missed too. But
it's hard telling. I'm not really remembering that era.
But he's in the era of especially the 94 to 01 where I didn't like the Spurs as much.
Yeah.
More the 01, 99, 2000, 2001. Basically
really
after 97.
In the 2000s though.
Yeah.
Real bad hating
Late
them.
90s, early 2000s. Mm-hmm. But he was my favorite player on that team at that time.
Right. Which as we talk about this, I know we're almost through NBA, but it's okay to like players from rival teams as far as I'm not rooting for them to do well, especially against my team, but you recognize talent.
Yeah, and not to spin back to football, Santonio Holmes for Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
He's an Ohio State guy.
I was wondering if you're going to say him because of Ohio
I thought
State
about
guys.
him, but I kind of didn't like him. I think I rubbed me the wrong way when they drafted him, and I was after that mad.
Yeah.
And then when I was super rooting against him against the Cardinals Super Bowl, and then he did that catch, and I'm like, God dang it.
Yeah.
Santonio.
I still remember that.
Why'd you have to do that to him?
Super Bowl vividly, too.
So that's why I didn't mention him. But back on the NBA, you're correct. In sports in general, it's okay to like players from other teams.
Yeah.
And like I said, to me, the more I get away from it, the more I've learned, all right, I respect him. Well, I kind of liked him. I just hated him in the moment because he just hit a walk-off home run or a game-winning shot or a touchdown or broke,
interception.
Yeah, whatever it is.
That's how I've grown. I think it comes with just growing up, too. I used to let it ruin my day or longer as a kid.
Yeah. But we also grew up in the era, too, where players hated other players.
Yes, that's very true. They're not all friends with each other.
And now it's, I remember, Chad and Ray were friends.
Well, look at Michael Jordan and Isaiah Thomas on the opposite end of it. They still don't like each other.
They still hate each other from shit. Yeah.
That's the era. And I'm not saying I'm
but
not promoting hate.
No, but
it's a competitive hate for most people.
Free agency made people more buddy though.
Yeah.
Before you had true rivals. Yeah, you had true rivals and you might have respected them, but you want to beat them every time.
Well, remember the Lakers Celtics in the 80s?
Yeah.
That got violent.
Yeah.
And there wasn't technical fouls back then either.
No, and I'm not saying NBA needs to go back to that.
No. It's not going to. I hate to say it. Once you start going down this path.
Yeah, no, it's cleaned up.
Yeah, that's fine. We still get the competition.
So are you good on the
yes.
The NBA?
Yes.
So MLB, we're gonna start with National League.
Well, I'm good on NBA, or I'm good on the Spurs. NBA, we got one more team. Boston Celtics.
Oh shit! I'm sorry.
I was thinking we go Spurs. Boston Celtics. I want to say my honorable mention first, and I think it's probably everyone's.
Okay.
Bill Russell.
Oh yeah.
That's easy.
Yep.
And he loved the hell out of Kobe. Rest in peace. It's Bill Russell. I like the dude, and he's real. He is the champion of the league. 11 rings? He's not cocky about it, and I think he told Barkley or someone to basically he flipped him off or to tell him to shut the hell up. But, but not in the mean way. It was he's like,
no, I'm pretty sure he flipped him off.
Yeah, he's like, oh, stop it, type thing. I don't know. I respect him, and the stuff that he had to do. In an era where black players weren't getting the respect. He was getting. He couldn't. If I remember right, he couldn't even stay in the same hotel as his team. But the one respect I'll give the Celtics is they're like, no, we're all staying together.
Yeah.
And then he became a player coach, so I respect that. But yeah, that's my
No, that's good
I
information.
think it's for honorable mention.
I didn't know he was a player coach, honestly. Mm-hmm. I didn't remember that, or I didn't know that. I think you just taught me that.
Yeah.
I think you just
Well,
taught
there
me
you
that.
go. You learned something new.
'Cause I don't think I was aware of that because I didn't really follow him like that. But I do respect Howden and liked him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and I've seen his personality more that he's retired. Obviously, I didn't see him as a player at all.
Yeah.
Really, but
yeah, we're not that old.
But I didn't notice his personality until he started like jabbing up Barkley and stuff like that. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool.
he's
I never really hated him, but he was just a guy. Like I said, it was pre our era. So
And so and there's no reason for us to hate him because we didn't watch him play. So so as far as watching them play, my honorable mention Celtic is, and this is tough, but I want to go with Kevin Garnett as
your actual
he's my
another honorable mention.
Yeah, he's my honorable that I've witnessed play.
Oh, okay. So you have a third one?
I do.
Oh, okay.
Which is surprising because I hate the Celtics.
Yeah, because I only came up with one. So. But Garnett, I guess, would be an honorable mention for me.
I guess I'll say it since I'm blabbing still. And it's not because of recent times. I even said this, and I have witnesses back when he played for the Celtics championship teams in 2008, and then when the Lakers beat him in 2010. Rajon Rondo.
Oh.
I've always respected the way he played the game.
No, that's a good
He
call.
drove me nuts.
I didn't even think about him.
But I remember telling Nick and Mark when I lived in my apartment that I always wished that Rondo was on our team. I told Curtis that even back when.
No, you're right. Yeah.
And he's traveled since then, New Orleans and I think Sacramento. Obviously, he was with the Lakers championship team last year. And that's not why I'm saying him.
No. Yeah.
Super excited that we got him. And I kind
Because
of wish we kept him.
me too. I was super. So actually, you might have changed my mind. I'm still going to mention mine, but I didn't.
Oh
think
yeah,
about
do
Rondo.
it.
So the one I went with was Ray Allen.
That's a good one too.
Same era as Garnett, but Ray Allen was 07 to 012.
Yeah.
Or 12.
Yeah.
Not 012. I just respect the hell out of him. I love 3-point shooters.
Yeah.
And he's the best.
Yeah.
You know, I just like that style. I remember him playing for Connecticut, you know what I'm saying, in college, and I just always been a fan of his.
Yeah.
You know?
So
and hell, he's in a freaking movie.
And you probably like the fact that he went to Miami after the Boston, and the Boston players hated it.
Yeah.
Knowing you at least, like, that's what you get. Yeah,
but I loved Ray Allen, yeah.
That's a good one. And he's never seemed like he never really got under my skin beyond the talent. Like, he wasn't, like, extracurricular about things.
No, he just owned us when we were playing him a lot.
Yeah.
You know, besides that, I didn't hate the guy.
Yeah, I don't hate the guy.
That's why he was my favorite, but I forgot Rajon Rondo. So yeah, you're right. That's a 1A, 1B.
Yeah, I just love his style.
Kind of scenario for me.
He is more of a mouth and cocky.
But I like that.
But I like him. Yeah, I like that.
So you're right, man. You're good. Yeah, you had that one better than me, and you did it off the top of your head.
Yeah, so, that one.
Good call.
Yeah. So now I'm good with NBA.
Now MLB. I don't know how I almost forgot the Celtics. I was flowing too fast.
It's all right. You're getting excited because I know MLB. I always joked around that you're my MLB friend.
Well, I was going to say because I got a lot going on with the MLB.
Yeah.
I got a lot going on with that one, and there's just more teams. That's probably also why I picked more. I don't know. Well, it's more division oriented, and the divisions are larger.
They're larger.
So MLB NL then.
Okay. So. Just remind everyone we're Reds fans.
Reds fans. And I don't have to go. And this I'll just go in order of the way I wrote it unless you want to.
That works. Because it's going to be trickier for me. I'm not going to lie.
Okay. So I got and I have a lot of honorable mentions going on in this too as well.
Right.
But St. Louis Cardinals.
So, okay.
So this first one doesn't fully count. But, and I don't know if he'd still beat my actual one anyway, but I wanted to mention him. Scott Rowland.
Oh, yeah.
02 to 07 a Cardinal, but obviously he played for the Reds for a few seasons as well.
Right.
I was super excited when he became a Red because I was like, oh, yeah, this dude's a leader. He's a beast. I loved him for being on the team. I hate it.
Yeah.
You know, so.
I remember him coming to the Reds, and he did well with us, too.
Yeah, I mean, super leader, super great guy, you know,
right.
Like, have his bobblehead all, you know, just loved him being on the team. He's overall seemed like a great guy.
Yeah.
To be, you know. I wish he'd come back and be a coach or something for us.
Right.
You know, type of person. And do you want me to mention my second one or?
So just to clarify, that was an honorable mention.
Honorable mention, which I mean, if it wasn't for this other player, he would have been my favorite, regardless of the Reds part.
Okay.
But there's just this other player that I remember growing up with that I love.
Now I'm wondering if it's one I'm thinking of as my honorable mention.
Do you want to mention it?
Sure. My honorable mention is Ozzie Smith.
Yes.
Was it him?
That's him.
Do you remember during infield when they did the infield?
He did a backflip.
Yep.
That's
Every
why I
time.
loved him. And they called him the Wizard.
Yeah.
I love nicknames when I was a kid.
Yeah, especially
So I
a
was like,
nickname like that.
yeah, the Wizard.
And I
so-
had a bunch of his cards.
yeah.
That's what. So as a kid,
Yeah, it sticks out.
when I see certain players' cards, and then I realize they're not just a everyday player, and they're actually a star.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, these are even more special.
Yeah, 'cause he's really
Ozzie
good.
Smith's in the All-Star game. He does backflips.
Yeah, he's the Wizard.
Yeah.
He's the flipping Wizard. But he played from 82 to 96. The only thing I can say negative about him is that he overshadowed our boy Larkin.
Yes,
That's my
that
only
was
negative.
annoying. You're right.
You know, because Larkin would have won a ton of more Gold Gloves if it wasn't for Ozzie winning Gold Gloves.
Now I do think. Now correct me if I'm wrong. Larkin has him in the most important category though. Larkin has a World Series championship where
Yeah.
I believe the Cardinals didn't win one in Ozzie's career. I could be
No,
wrong.
I believe you're correct on that because 96, I don't think they won until like later than that.
Yeah, because 96 was my favorite
The Yanks.
AL team. Yep.
Yeah, so I don't think they won to what, like, well, I mean, I don't know if they won in the 80s.
I was about to say it might have been early 80s. I don't know. I want to say no because I feel like the Cardinals won a bunch, kind of like I hate to say it, kind of like the Red Sox, but not as big of a gap. Where
Yeah.
the Cardinals won a lot, like before our lifetime.
Yeah, because they're
And
one of the
then-
teams that are ahead of us, the
Yeah.
Reds, for example, on the list of
I think they're the
overall chips.
second most.
I think
behind
they
the
are.
Yankees.
I think
they
it's
have like
Yankees,
12 or
Cardinals.
13.
Who is it? Yankees, Cardinals, and there's a third, and like the Reds are like fourth or fifth, though.
Yeah, because the Reds are part of a group that has 5.
Yeah,
I can't remember exactly without looking it up, but you're right. The Reds are technically up there. It's just I
the
definitely
drop off goes quick.
Yeah, because I
Okay.
think like it's behind. I think we already said the Cardinals are second. I think the third place it has like 8 or 9.
I think it's
And
8
like
or 9.
It's like a random team. At least one of them. It's like
It's a team with newer championships.
yeah, with mix of some old. I think I could be wrong.
No, I think it was a team that was like 5 with us and have won 3 since or something. Is it
Okay.
Boston? How many does Boston have?
I don't know.
I don't know. We'll have to look
I
that
hate
up
them.
later. We'll have to look that up later. It'll be another podcast, but yes, Ozzie. So who's your actual then?
That's what I'm having a hard time thinking because I went with Ozzy as my alternate just because I was a kid.
Yeah.
Watching him. Like players are going through my head now. Just in general, not like oh he's my favorite.
Yeah.
They've had talent on the team. For whatever reason, I can't think of someone that's my favorite right now.
I mean, I didn't hate McGuire.
He crossed my mind too, and he made
You know?
baseball exciting, even though we found out.
Yeah.
It was steroids,
but yeah, no, I mean, I didn't hate him per se. He was one of them that was kind of on my mind.
Yeah, I just have a hard time saying him. I think because of the steroids.
And I'll
That
admit
sounds
too, though,
weird.
like I don't hate St. Louis as much as, for example, I hate the Cubs.
right. I knew
know?
that about you.
I do hate St. Louis more. Like I hate there's certain players I hate.
Yeah, and
You know?
I hate to admit it. I don't hate either of the teams you just said as much as I hate the Red Sox. With baseball, Red Sox is the team I hate.
Yeah, and it's funny is I hate the Red Sox more, but I'm more of a Reds fan.
Yeah.
So it's real weird to me.
Yeah,
you know, it's like I'm
yeah.
more of a Reds fan, but I don't hate. But I think a lot of it for me was growing up, and I mentioned this later even about the Cubs, but like they were on WGN daytime games.
Yep.
Reds usually played at night, so I watched a lot of those games.
Especially in the
St.
summer.
Louis, really, I didn't necessarily catch a lot of them, but I didn't know about them that much.
I didn't. Except for Ozzie Smith and then McGuire. And then I start realizing.
Yeah, and another team we're going to do later, I'll mention too, is that I hated Atlanta probably more than any other team growing up.
Growing
You know,
up,
growing up, I
as
hated
a kid,
Atlanta.
I hated
the most,
Atlanta
yeah.
too.
And
I
as I
remember
got
one of my friends was an Atlanta fan because he was from Georgia or
Yeah.
lived in Georgia. Or no, I'm sorry, he lived in South Carolina, but it's close to
close to
Atlanta.
Georgia, yeah.
And he always wore a Braves hat, and always wore. That's when I first started always wearing my classic Yankee hat.
Yeah.
And I used to always dog him because the Braves were the team of the '90s, but the late '90s rolled around. The Yankees, Derek Jeter.
Yeah. I just hate when the Braves robbed us in '95.
Oh yeah,
It was that strike year. We
Yeah.
were the best. Came back from the strike. We didn't come out of the gate too good then.
Yeah.
The Braves took it over and wanked us. And
Well, and they were a perennial
Stories written.
NL team.
Yeah.
They finally got it.
they had that dreaded freaking pitching staff back
Oh,
then.
man, yeah.
Golly.
Yeah.
Which is, yeah. I'll mention that later, but I didn't pick one of their pitchers as the player.
Right.
Even though I respected the shit out of him. But
Yeah.
not to get too far ahead of it.
That's why with St. Louis, it's hard for me to really think though because there's also the division realignment. I don't know exactly when that happened, but the Dodgers were technically.
Yeah, St. Louis wasn't with us the whole growing up, I don't think.
I don't know. 100%,
I remember the Dodgers, and I remember Houston for a while, and I didn't
Yes,
mention
the
Houston either.
Astros.
I left them out of it. Because
Really
they're
hate
not-
them now.
Yeah, But I hated them back then too
Same
with
here.
DiBiggio and Bagwell. You know,
Their little stances, and they always get the
God,
base at the
Bagwell had
worst
that
time.
goofy ass damn stance all the freaking time. And they played in
mean-
that godforsaken Astrodome that the Reds couldn't do shit in.
Oh man, yeah.
You know, like it was just
That's taking me back, man. Back when the Astros were an NL team.
yeah. But and they had that god awful, like I like their old Nolan Ryan uniform.
I did
And
too
then when
now.
they changed it to the '90s one, I hated that damn uniform.
Yeah,
You know, and I always wanted to like the Houston because I didn't really care about them as much. But
they were never really a true threat. They were
well, they
almost-
were always a team that was worse than us.
yeah. They just
You know,
had a couple good players.
They were always the six. We had 6 teams back when
Yeah.
they did the realignment. We ended up with 6 teams, and they were worse than us.
Yeah,
You know, well, once we got Milwaukee or whatever, like Milwaukee was an AL team too, which I do mention them, but
yeah.
since they're in the AL a lot of my life, I don't really have a lot of players with them either.
Yeah.
But I guess we should move on to we'll just move down the list of Chicago
Yeah, Cubbies.
Cubbies. Do you have any in mind, or you want me to go?
Go ahead.
All right, so I only have one, so there's no honorable mention here. I mean, I could have honorable mentions, but I just went with one.
Yeah.
Sammy Sosa, that's my guy.
Yeah.
92 to 04, and honestly, I liked him going back before the whole home run chase and the corked bat and his potential steroids or PEDs or whatever.
Yeah.
Like and I liked him through that. I didn't, I didn't care. I got over it. I cared for a little bit. I don't like that era. I'll mention that, but like
Yeah, but I mean,
it's part of the game, But
It is. It's just weird saying that. It's almost like being dismissive of it, but it's not. It's just acknowledging that that's what happened that era.
Yeah. Yep.
Mine's also Sammy Sosa, to be honest, because I can't really think of anyone that I'm like, oh yeah, I respect that guy. Or, I mean, I can't. This is cheating because he only played there for half a season, but I'll just say it just for the sake of conversation. Aroldis Chapman, but that breaks
Yeah.
all kinds of rules. He played for the Reds and then the Yankees.
Yeah, and then the
And then
Cubs,
went back to
and
the
then
Yankees.
back to the Yankees.
So
yeah.
I'm breaking. I just want to say though, like when I'm trying to think of players,
Yeah.
it's like, and
You
I
almost go back. For me, I had to go back to the 90s.
yeah, because I don't.
'Cause I
Really,
can't really think or real recent, and that's it.
I mean, you're not a Rizzo fan.
Nah, not really, man. But I respected like Sandberg.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah, Ryan Sandberg.
Was it Dawson? Andre Dawson played for them for a little while.
Yeah. There's another guy. I can't think of his name. I know it's not correct, but I'm gonna say the name that keeps going in my head that gets in the way. Bernie Williams. But I can almost picture the dude. I want to say he played second base. He would be an honorable mention if I could think of the guy's name.
Yeah, I can't think of it. But yeah, Sammy was my guy. I actually had his number. I picked 21 back in the day for Little League because of him.
Oh, not because of Dion?
That was his football number.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Baseball.
wise, it's probably part of it was Dion, but like, I think it was part Dion. I think I mentioned it, but it's like you pick baseball numbers after baseball players. Dion's baseball number was like he had like 2 for a while, and it fluctuated.
It fluctuated. I think
don't want to say it's not because of Dion because 21's. I like the number 21 because
Yeah.
of Dion, but I think I picked it based off of
No, that makes sense. When I was real young, I used to always want a number 11 just because Larkin.
Larkin. Yeah, see, we couldn't get that on my team because
Right.
I didn't hold that seniority rank or whatever,
Right.
So I went from for my quick little league story, I guess, is I picked 5 for bench first.
Yeah.
Mainly though, because I was so small back then, I couldn't get a double digit number.
Makes sense. I remember those old baseball uniforms.
So I had to pick 5, and then I went to once I got a big enough uniform, I had 34 for Kirby Puckett.
Okay.
That was my guy. That was my favorite player at that time. That wasn't a red. And then I went to after that we got button downs, and that's when I went to 21.
I remember the button downs.
Yeah, we went from pullovers to button downs.
I can't remember what.
That's when our
number
team
I
got
had.
fancy because then we got fitted hats.
Yes, so do we. With
And we
my
got
name on the back.
'cause before we had the socks that had the fake line on it, but then we
Yep.
got the actual. What do you call that thing?
I don't know,
You
but
know what
it's
I'm
like
talking about?
the
clips on and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
It's
little
a
thing.
goofy little
like
old
clips
school
onto your
thing.
pants. Yeah, we had the whole deal. So we got.
I even
real
had a
fancy.
belt for my pants.
Yeah, though we had a belt that
Yeah.
year. We got real fancy.
That's the only
that
year I had that.
We had. I think I was with that one for like 2 years, and then that's when I left the team after that.
Okay. Yeah, I left the team after we got fancy too. I
Yeah.
was done with baseball. Not
Right,
to
yeah.
bore everyone, but I was more of a basketball guy.
Well, I just stopped being good enough to probably be on the team.
Right.
Like before, it was like just let them. You were young, and then when I got older, it's like all right.
Right.
You probably actually have to try out now, and I probably wouldn't make it. And da 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 da.
Right.
But,
Yeah, that can get rough, but that's a whole another subject.
Yeah, but all right. So moving on to Pittsburgh Pirates, I sure can bet you're not gonna guess mine. with any money in the world.
I don't even know if I can guess my own.
Yeah. I'd bet my retirement on the fact you wouldn't guess who I picked.
Oh man, I want to win your retirement now.
I promise you won't pick. I don't know that anybody would pick this ever.
I'm not even gonna try because I can't. I mean, I can only think of McCutcheon off the top of my head, and
Ooh, I do like him though.
Marte. Yeah, McCutcheon.
I'll be honest with you, he didn't cross my mind. But I don't
McCutcheon's
mind
going to have to be
McCutcheon.
mine because the Pirates were another team I don't remember being very good early on. At least.
No,
Technically they only had that little window.
I never hated them because they were always one of the teams that was like worse than us as well.
Yeah, and since
No.
since I said it already, I'll just continue. Mine's McCutcheon.
Yeah, that's my honorable mention. Now I didn't have him, but
I like the way he played, and I don't know. He annoyed me sometimes playing the Reds because he did have some big moments, but all in all, I just liked his style.
yeah,
And even like the what's the word, like,
how he carried himself.
yeah, just it was, he had some trash talking, but
He had
not
some talk. He had
overboard.
passion. But he
Yeah.
was a leader. You know what I'm saying? He
Yeah.
was pretty much quiet unless he got pissed. You could tell.
Yeah, which
Saying.
I expect that from anyone. You're
But
a
no,
competitor.
he hustled though. He hustled his ass off.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's
and he stuck
definitely-
with a Pirates team that wasn't good.
So honestly, that might actually be my favorite one. Now that you mention it, I don't know why I didn't think about him.
I want to know who yours is. That
So-
you're betting your retirement to any fan listening. By the way, any fan.
Any fan,
That's
I wouldn't
kidding.
say that. 'Cause there'd be Pirates fans that would fucking know this guy.
Oh, I know.
And you may or may not know his name. Josh Harrison.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay, you should though, and I'll tell you why later. He played for the Pirates 11 to 18, 2011 to 2018.
Yeah.
And the reason why you should is because he is a fellow alma mater of your collegiate time.
The University of Cincinnati, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a Bearcat. And he's from Cincinnati.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what high school, but
You know,
he's from Cincinnati.
And I'm not saying, oh, yeah, I know him. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But I can kind of picture hearing Tom Brenneman saying, now this guy hails from blah, blah, blah in Cincinnati.
He tore us up.
Yeah. So I bet
Plays
you
for the
I knew
Nationals
it.
now, I believe.
Okay.
Or last. I don't know if he's still in the league, but
yeah.
as of
Going
recent,
into the 2021 season.
Most recently, as far as I know, he was a National.
Yeah, I would never guess that.
Tore us
but-
up, dude. Like, he wasn't great by any means. He was, a middle infielder. I think he could play outfield too, but I remember playing middle infield.
Yeah.
And I think he just stepped up for the game against his hometown team. And I think a lot of it is because I think we had a chance to take him in the draft and bypassed him.
Yeah.
For some, I don't know who. I don't want to mention who. I have no idea who.
Yeah.
But I think we bypassed him for someone.
I can see that really bothering someone, especially if you grow
I mean,
up
it's your
in a town
hometown
that,
team. I'm sure that I don't know that the Reds were his favorite team, but wants to assume.
we are a baseball town, so,
So yeah. So that guy, that's him. Okay.
yeah, that's a good one though. I would have never gotten that.
Okay, so we're gonna move to Milwaukee.
Okay.
Like I said, I didn't have much going with that because of their AL time.
Yeah.
But Prince Fielder, 05 to 11, just overall decent guy. I
Yeah.
don't really hate many other players besides maybe Braun.
Yeah, and that's between tearing up and then he also get in trouble for
Yeah, he had some PED situation, which I want to make fun of him for. So
yeah. So
he just seems douchey.
yeah, I don't care. I don't care for him, and I mean not to copy off you, but same reasoning. Milwaukee, I never really paid attention to until more recent times. I can't go against Fielder.
No, that's
mean-
all I had. I liked him.
Yeah.
Big chubby guy like me.
Yeah.
So
And there's a couple other guys I don't mind on the current team. I don't want to divulge into them, but Milwaukee's a team that I don't really hate. I just hate when they whoop up on us.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, they came from the AL like in our lifetime. So
Right.
I just I haven't grown that much of a hatred for them yet.
No. But like I
So-
mentioned,
we haven't been good enough since they've been around, really, like consistently enough to.
no.
That's the team, and we haven't done anything crazy against them. Like St. Louis, I started hating when like they got into Cueto's head, and then we got in the brawl.
Yeah, the
and
brawl.
Pittsburgh with a brawl, so it's
Yep.
like their rivalry starting to build. But Milwaukee was just kind of always there.
Yeah. They're kind of
know.
like, hey guys,
I haven't hated them a lot.
I'm here
yeah.
too.
So, all right, and then final MLB National League would be Atlanta, and I went with Fred McGriff,
Oh,
The crime dog.
I remember Fred McGriff.
93-97, first baseman. That's
Yes.
just I remember him sticking out when I was a kid. I think I had his card.
Yeah, I
And I
did.
was like, that's,
I definitely did because McGriff reminded me of like almost a cartoon character or something.
Yeah, and he's kind of in the heart of when I hated Atlanta, and I was looking at like that I was trying to look at the time where I really hated him, and I was like, man, I can't pick any of these pitchers, even though I like them.
Yeah.
But I was like, screw Smoltz, screw,
Yeah.
Maddox, like they all tore us
Glavine.
up. Yeah, like I freaking respect the hell out of him and like him now.
Which
but
is
like
why
at
I
the
want
time,
to say my honorable mention is the Atlanta Braves pitching staff. I know it's breaking the
whole
rules,
thing.
but the one, I mean, come on.
Oh, yeah.
They
And
killed
minus
it.
maybe Rocker, because he was a...
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know that
Not
story.
Rocker.
Not
Basically,
Rocker. But yeah,
Smoltz
but the
and
rest of
Glavine
them, yeah.
and
And
Maddox.
which one was it that went from he went from like a starter to a closer or a closer to a starter? One of them was like that.
For some reason, I want to say.
I think it was Smoltz.
Okay, I wanted to say Glavine, but
Could have been, but I thought it was Smoltz maybe. I don't know. Either way, I
So-
respect their team. Do you have another player at all?
Kenny Lofton.
Oh, man. I forgot about him. I think him is more of an Indian, I think.
And that makes sense. 'Cause we went from Cleveland to Atlanta, if I'm
I believe.
right.
I believe so, yeah.
And Cleveland had that. Cleveland played Atlanta. Cleveland lost to Atlanta in the World Series when
Yeah.
Atlanta got their one title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, no, Kenny Lofton. Yeah, I had his shoes.
Yeah, there
He
you
was
go.
one of the few MLB players with shoes.
Yeah.
Him, Griffey, there's a
Yep.
couple, but he was one of the few ones with his own shoes.
And to cheat, this is my cheating honorable mention. Deion Primetime Sanders.
Correct. Yeah, that was also. Yeah,
But that's cheating because he
was a Yankee also,
Yeah, he's a
So.
Yankee. He's a Red.
a red. So yeah, I just left him out, but for sure, like
But what reason why I want to say Deion though
Lofton,
is the
though.
time where he was in the MLB playoffs and playing for the Atlanta Falcons, and he took a helicopter, I believe, from the NFL game and landed like in the parking lot or something for
Oh,
the
no, I remember
Braves
that, yeah.
playoff game.
like literally, yeah,
Played the playoff game. I think he had a home run that night.
yeah.
Crazy, but that's my cheating honorable mention.
No, you're correct. And then okay, so you ready for the AL?
Oh yeah, the one team that I hate,
Okay, so you want to lead with this one or?
the Boston Red
Red
Sox. So, I mean, before we started recording, I did tell you I am having a hard time thinking of someone that I don't know, like, respect, or basically what we're talking about. I'm having a hard time because I hate Boston.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to admit though, one that kind of grown on me mostly after he retired. I hate saying this is Ortiz.
Yep, that's the one I picked for my official. I have a couple honorable mentions.
He's the one that keeps sticking in my mind.
I think it really hit me when he did the Boston Marathon speech.
Yes, that's the one. I swear to you, that's what I was thinking.
He's like, "This is our fucking city."
Yeah, and I'm glad that
They didn't blur that shit.
Yeah,
they didn't do. This is our fucking
I mean,
city.
sometimes you gotta be raw, not to go
No.
on a whole different
But
tangent.
no, I mean he tore us
but
up. But overall, he's a good guy. And he played. Who did he play for? Like Minnesota or something before. Like,
I want to say it was like Minnesota
and
or
like I didn't hate him really.
or Cleveland for some
It
reason.
wasn't like I hated Johnny Damon. And then he became a Yankee, and I still like he was
Yeah.
that Yankee that was like, it feels dirty to root for you, man. 'cause
Yeah, I mean,
I hated your ass.
I hope you do something because you're on our team.
and I hated
but
Manny. You know what I'm saying? Manny being Manny, screw Manny. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like screw you being Manny.
Yeah,
Fuck
I
outta
hated
here.
that.
I hated him. But Ortiz is probably that's the one I picked.
Yeah, Ortiz is the only one I can think of that I don't like hate. I mean, there's
Yeah.
times he drove me nuts, but I don't hate the guy.
No.
And I feel like now you say that, wasn't there an oh man, I can't think of the guy's name, but I can't remember if he came from the Red Sox to the Yankees as well. But he's not a Damon. He's someone else that I don't mind. I can't think of the dude's name.
In that era,
Yeah. Yeah, and I think he might have retired recently with the Yankees even.
I'm
I
sure
can't
there
think of the
is,
guy's
but
name
I can't.
now. I can picture him even.
Yeah, I can't think of in that era someone that would.
He's my honorable mention.
But, okay.
I can't think of the guy's name.
But I'm real quick because we're about to wrap up here, running on a
Yeah.
time constraint. But my two honorable mentions are Wade Boggs,
Okay.
82 to 92, but then the asterisk of he went to the Yankees from 93 to 97.
Yep.
But I will admit that Boggs could have been it because I liked him because of a baseball card. That was my baseball card guy.
Another popular
Yeah, I had
card
a couple
back then.
baseball cards, and I liked him before I knew I was supposed to hate the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Before I realized, I'm supposed to hate them because they're so that would
Well,
probably
they were so bad for a
if
while.
he would have been in the era of me hating the Red Sox, he probably would have been it.
Yeah.
Basically, if he would have never came to the Yankees and stayed a Red Sox, I probably would have been that guy.
Right.
'Cause I liked him even before he became a Yankee. When he did, I was like, yes, super exciting, love
Yeah.
that guy. And then Roger Clemens, but
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
84 to 96 as a Red Sox, a Yank from 99 to 03, and then back and then again in 07.
Yeah.
I just think it's too much Yankees time. And I didn't really know him much in Boston. I more started remembering him when he played for Toronto.
Yeah.
is a Blue Jay, and I don't like hate the Blue Jays.
No.
So like I remember him. I kind of remember a couple Boston years, but I really remember the Blue Jays years, and then obviously Houston, and then the Yankees.
I must remember the Boston baseball cards more than
I do remember the cards more than him playing. Yeah, and I kind of
remember as a Yankee.
And I think I remember him playing more at Toronto, and then
right
Yankees, Astros, and stuff like that.
Now, if we were our grandfather's father's age, I think one that we could mention too would be Babe Ruth.
Yes,
but that's not our era.
That'd be the honorable mention too, because he also played for the Yankees. So it's like
exactly.
Yeah, so
and that's kind of what started the rivalry.
Yeah,
the infamous trade. I mean,
yeah,
I'm not saying
of Babe.
I know they hated each other before that, but that like added to it because the curse of Babe. Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
all right.
So
well,
I hope you all enjoyed us blabbing about players that we respect from teams that we hate. We're very opinionated. I'm sure we'll have more episodes, maybe about players that we do like or eras.
Yeah, this was a fun talk. I like this one. We probably could have kept going, but we're just on a time limit, unfortunately, for this one. But if you have any more ideas or any players, and just mention us on our socials, or
if you want to tweet us some players that you respect from teams that you hate.
Yeah, if we got anything wrong, don't be afraid to correct us. I know
maybe
you
hate teams that we like.
Yeah,
let's hear who you like.
Yeah,
who you like from the Bengals, Reds, Yankees, Lakers.
Yep,
hit us up.
All right, we're done.
Are we done?
I think we're done.
All right, let's wrap it up.
All
Peace.
right, brother. Yep.